Today we're just gonna talk about being an artist and how life is going with that, especially with like the war going on, what to expect from this type of economy that I see coming. Me personally, I kind of just want to send like a little ping, little message out to the younger people, I guess, at this point. And when I say younger, I'm talking about maybe like teenagers to 21-year-olds, 24, probably 24 max. It's gonna, I don't, I'm not trying to be doomsday, but like shit's always been kind of hard for artists. But lately, it's been harder, and I think it's going to get even harder because mainly because of a few things. Just the minimum threshold to survive has gone up so much. Meaning, like, if you don't have a lot of support from like your family, your parents, or friends, then you're probably working right now, and you're probably just trying to enjoy your life, but knowing that you have to take care of responsibilities. Now, if you try to add being an artist into that mix, like now it's becoming a little more overwhelming, and I completely understand that. Um, for me personally, little background about me is I've taken life pretty serious ever since I was a teenager. I went to work ever since I was 16 and have always been in this mindset of trying to be done with having to make money as soon as possible. So when I was growing up, I took life serious, but I've also tried to enjoy it as much as I could. And I would always come up with a plan to enjoy lives. Like I would separate my money so that I could have funds to go out and enjoy it. Meaning I would have to work a lot to be able to have extra money to go out and spend. And it always hurt because I never got to go out as much as everyone else around me because I was taking life so serious. Like all I could think about was making more money, how to make more money, like how do I be happy with how I'm gonna spend money. I didn't want to mess up. So I bought a house after working my way up the corporate world. And when I bought my house, I realized that there was no point to it. And I was about 24 when I bought my house. And it was good, I had my car paid off, I had a house, and I was renting out the 2 rooms other than mine. So I had 3 bedroom, I rented out the other 2. And my rent was only like $400 because I wasn't really there to profit off of them. I was there to just kind of like help each other, make it easier for all of us to just have a better life. Once I did all that, I realized how much life I still had left because I was only 24 and I could have like stopped. But I decided I'm just gonna make music, I'm gonna be an artist, and I'm gonna quit my jobs and just pursue that full time. And I did that because I created a little buffer for myself to be able to do it without going homeless pretty much. Like I had a good amount of savings, and I knew I was not going to run out of money because I didn't live a lifestyle that was requiring a lot. So anyways, started making music, and I loved it so much that I got addicted to it, and I knew that this was what I wanted to do because I have already lived the other side. I wasn't making like a lot of money, but I did become a mortgage loan officer and was pretty much set. Like my life was gonna go very, very uphill in terms of my financial way of life. But I decided to throw it all away. You know, I decided to help my family, and I decided to prioritize my happiness and artistic journey. And the more I pursued my art, the more I was fucking up my life on the standards of what America expects out of us. And that was about 2020. So it was about 6 years ago when all of that happened. And I'm looking back now, and I don't know if I would do anything different because I'm still not like successful on the standards of what it means to be successful. but I have grown so much as a person in many ways that the world, I feel, needs. And it's really hard to live at this point on the expectations of the world. For example, I'll tell you how. Right now, I live out of my van and my RV. So per month, my minimum that I need to make is $1,300 to afford all of the things that I have, so I don't lose any of it. So that's my van and my phone bill, insurance, and all of that. And it's hard right now because if were to add rent to that, I would not be able to have as much time. For sure, I would not be able to have enough time because I would have to work like 50 or 60 hours again. And mind you, I run my own business. Like, it's that bad. You know, for rent to be at 1,200 for myself, like of course it's not smart to move in by myself at this point. Like I'd rather have roommates just so I wouldn't have to pay so much more. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is I'm able to do what I can right now, and I'm making the best of it because I decided not to follow the rhythm of America, which was pay rent and just do what you're told pretty much. Like I have no say about it, and I'm not trying to do that. I am trying to find a way to make money online, not necessarily just taking money from people, but like I do sell shirts, I sell my merch, USBs, and I make music and it can be streamed on platforms, but I know that it's not going to be life changing until I can get a solid foundation on just making money online. Whether that be making more sales, getting more streams, or just finding a way to get people to donate to me, which to me has been kind of hard, but now I'm starting to understand that it's just part of the new rhythm is to have people donate. So if you do want to donate, I appreciate it. But if I can make a difference in somebody's life with the things that I say and the things that I do and how I can mediate all of this energy to you guys, then I shouldn't feel bad for accepting people's money. Especially when we like compare it to spending money to like bullshit, like hot Cheetos, for example. Like that shit's almost like what, $3 a bag. I haven't bought hot Cheetos in years. Soda, dumb shit. Like I always ask myself, like, why should people invest in it? Besides the fact that I do feel I make really good music, um, I do feel like I make high quality products as well. But most importantly, like I do feel that I make a positive difference in people's lives, whether it's because they can say they know me or they've interacted with me or they made a song with me, or even it's just I see them at some point in the day. um, I do feel like I'm constantly prioritizing a positive reality for all of us and not just for me. So when I see that shit from a financial point of view, like why wouldn't someone want to invest in that? Like me personally, if I wasn't a creator and I was to be an investor, I would invest in myself only for that purpose that I know that I am putting out a little signal, or I'm enhancing the signal of positivity in the world. And I think that's kind of what I want to really establish with who I am and what I'm trying to do, because I'm not trying to inspire people to live like me at all. This is not the way. But at the same time, like I am not trying to live like the way that the game is having us move towards. Ah, and I know it can be a very, very essential asset into the corporate world, which is what really motivates me to not go there, because I know what skills I bring and I know how much talent I can give to any company that decides to really take me serious. And that exact thought and reason is why I tell myself, like, you can't go back. Like, you have to use these skills that companies have data for. You know, the hiring these days, I haven't had a job in a long time. But I'm gonna tell you something. the competition is both very high and very low for getting a job. The reason why it's very high is because you're competing with motherfuckers who have families. And yes, there's a lot of like bullshitters out here, but when you compete with someone who's taking their life serious, buddy, you are gonna get fucking dusted in any fucking field when you compete with a man or a woman who has a family they gotta take care of. That's your competition. When you want to think of it from the like minimum wage jobs all the way up to like any type of job, you're gonna be dealing with motherfuckers who are hungry as fuck because they have kids to feed and they have a wife to feed and they have this life to upkeep. You're gonna get dusted. They're gonna making money their entire personality just because they want to feed their family. That's why the competition is so high and there's less jobs to be able to fulfill these people who require a lot. They'll work 3 jobs to get it done. So that's one person taking 3 jobs. Like when you start taking away jobs and you have one person that has 3 jobs, like that starts to matter. Now, I'm not gonna say take it away from them. No, 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 no. There's a reason why they got 3 jobs. Like they are very, very proficient at everything that they do to the point where the people that hired them said, yes, please work for us, do the job very well, that you're gonna get the job. So there's that, right? There's a high competition. The low competition, in my opinion, in my entire life, I'm 31 years old. My entire career of working, I've never seen such a high pool of degenerates, but also just people who don't want to work. And look, I'm not against that. I understand how shitty it is and how pointless it feels to go to work right now. But there has to be some sense here. Like you, if you don't have something, a support system, a paid off house, an income, whatever, if you're not figuring it out somehow, dude, you have to get a fucking skill and you have to work a job. There's people that go to university full time and work a full time job and have kids. Like, dude, you have to work a job. And I understand that we're at a point where it's pretty bad in the job market, but you really have to ask yourself, like, why am I not getting this job? Is there something I'm not doing? And I think that's what we're not doing enough. Not really to appease the corporate overloads, more so to say, like, am I not approaching this world correctly? Is there something I'm missing, whether it be from high school, from my home life, from my professional career? Like, what could possibly be missing? You know, most of the time it's probably going to be skill and experience. Totally get that. Skill and experience is very, very important to get a job. But more important than skill and experience is a willingness to grow and work hard and be communicative, be the perfect person that they want to see in the company. Now, the only reason why I'm saying all of this is because we are in these tough ass times. Like, I'm trying to give advice to a younger version of me, a more ignorant version of me from the future, pretty much. Like, just trying to say it ain't gonna be easy and it ain't gonna be free. If you got that willingness to really get in the fucking dirt, like, just, you need to hustle. Like, there is no peace in it. There's no pillow. There's no cushion of comfort. There really isn't. And that's what makes people go insane. That's what makes people want to say this, fuck this, you know, it sucks. And I agree, it does suck. But no one's, The other thing that never happened is nobody ever came and saved me from my suffering. Never. I've always been the type to help others. And I've always been the type to be very careful to not put myself in positions that would ruin everything that I've already worked so hard for. You know, I've always had that mindset of like go get and preserve, then go back and get and preserve and multiply as much as you possibly can. But one thing that I've never really mastered in my life until like I would say recently is being better with people. Being able to create communities of people that truly do care and like just really there is no serious intention besides wanting to coexist. I feel like I finally mastered that craft and it has brought so many blessings to my life that I truly think it's one of the most important qualities you could have is how good are you at being a part of a community, whether it's actually creating a community or whether it's just being a part of one. The reason why I'm bringing that up is because I want to create a community online. Like I want to have people that can put their faith in me. Like for example, like I want people to play video games with. People I've never met that, you know, support my stuff. If you buy a USB, I think I would rather play video games with you over random strangers that don't give a fuck about me, but also just like friends who would would never support or just anybody who's not really interacting with my life in that way. You know, and like I'm hoping that the people that do invest in me are other producers and artists and like music oriented people, but I'm not ruling out anybody who just wants to be a part of my creations here. It's gonna be a hard journey for me personally because I still haven't gotten over the fact that I need to take money from people to survive on things that I feel I would rather give out for free. Like I would much rather give out everything that I've been making for free because I just want to live in this world that I can paint freely with my sounds and my creations and just move forward towards this reality that's much, 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 much better than the one that I believe we're heading towards. So, with that, I do ask for any support from you guys. It's always hard for me to ask, but even if it's just watching a video and just liking it and sharing it, or just watching it to the very end and just connecting with it as much as you can. Like, just actually giving me the opportunity to come into your life and just actually take space. Just take some space and show you who I am and just see how I can possibly improve it. Because I've been a huge believer of the word access. If we can access each other's minds, and I'm not trying to get too deep with that, like more so in the sense of like how you think, how you process life. Like that's a way of living that I will never experience that I can if I communicate with you. Like all I have to do is communicate with you, and if you know how to express it, then that's half the battle. But the other part of it is just, I think, our willingness to express and to ingest each other's lives and just really find a common ground. Just go from there. Because more so now than ever, we need to prioritize being a team. We need to stop trying to compete with each other all the time because we're not each other's enemy. And we need to start being more realistic on our strengths and weaknesses as people so that we can hand them off to somebody who's just naturally good at whatever it is that we're lacking in so that we can focus on what we're naturally good at. And I think what really sucks about these times right now, but at the same time there's a huge opportunity for growth, is the fact that we all have to, the world requires more from all of us, more than ever. So like, I would be willing to prove to you guys that just if I were to get a job, I would bet money that almost besides like fast food, like almost any job right now, you are probably working with someone. Like, really think about it. You are probably working with someone who's going through a lot of shit, whether that be like with family, emotionally, or like a girl. There's probably a big reason why they're there because, like I told you, like the jobs in the market right now, they're probably only accepting high quality workers right now, unless it's like a fast food joint with a job literally so fucking much that it's like, fuck this, especially if you're getting treated like shit. Those are the only jobs that I know for a fact are going to remain the same forever. Other than that, like every other job that's like not too bad, I promise you there's somebody working it that's like trying their hardest though. Somehow. Like maybe hardest in their way. You know, because everybody does have a different story. Not everybody but not everybody is suffering as much as everybody. If that makes any sense. Right now is the best time to befriend the people around you in your reality because you are probably, if you're not next to someone who's highly skilled in a couple things, if not one, you're probably next to someone who's highly motivated. Not everybody has the privilege. Like it is a privilege to have a family that taught them skills or enrolled them to learn very valuable skills. But just because you don't have skills doesn't mean that you are free from having to eat. No, even people that didn't have the privilege of getting skills have to go out and compete to eat. So my point is that you are probably next to somebody who's worth befriending. I will say this is a prediction here, I guess, but I truly do think that human personality has declined, so I can see it being a little harder to interact with other people. We have to do what we can to get past that threshold because I know in my heart right now more than ever we are talking to the juiciest souls to exist in the last like shit, maybe 50 years or so. Because of that, I do think it's important that we just go out of our way to figure it out in terms of personality. Like we have to break these barriers. We have to see past these natural instincts of living that might make it hard for the people around us, but is very important in terms of like just get over it. Either getting over it or honestly getting over it, it goes for both sides. Like either get over it because this person right here has a personality that's hard to be around all the time, or get over it like you aren't, the world doesn't revolve around you. Please fucking change to make it easier for other people to be around you. It goes both ways. There has to be a common ground so that we can all start coming together as like people and like really be able to make a difference, because the way we are now, I find it very exhausting. I've gotten good at it, but I do find it exhausting to try to like cut through these social barriers that exist with my peers. And the only reason why I'm having a better time now with making friends and like finding other people to work with and whatnot is because I've put so much time and energy over the years that it's like once I befriended this person who's like more popular, then I got to meet their friends. And once their friends met me, because I pretty much vetted by our mutual friend, then it's like, oh cool, you're just like me, you're just like me, you do music, you do this, you do that, like wow, like we should have been friends a long time ago. It's like, yeah, but we couldn't because you either you wouldn't have given me the time of day or I never would have approached you or whatever the reason is. It's because of this one friend that we both have that's mutual. that we were able to get into the same room and actually get to know each other. So that's probably the end of the video now. So this is just like one piece of a bigger puzzle that I'm trying to solve. So I appreciate you taking the time, and I definitely will make another video on this. I don't know. Yeah, I'll make another video. Thanks so much.